Hi, Satya. My name is Daphne. I'm one of the essay correctors here at IELTSpodcast.com. Thank you so much for sending in your essay, for getting in touch with us. And really interesting to see on the bottom here the books that you've been using or you've bought for yourself, and that your exam is in March, okay, your first time. Okay, it's really good to have a book that can help you, especially on the grammar and some of the techniques. And today I'm going to mention the course that we do, because I think you might find that helpful as well. Sometimes it's useful to have guidance as well as books. I think that can help you quite a lot. It's like having a little tutor here. So here we go. International marketing is sometimes seen as invasive and an intrusion into the country in question. Others argue that it's a necessary and economical form of education in addition to spreading ideas. Okay, discuss both views and give your opinion. Okay. So global advertisements, good, is often seen or is often thought to be an important way of spreading customs, native language and moral behaviours. Okay, so you've done a nice job here paraphrasing the sentence, which you've done here. You know not to repeat the words in the question. So you've done well there. However, we need to make sure that this makes sense. So global advertisements, so you could add here something like seen on TV and in magazines. So just get the context for this, is often thought to be an important way of spreading customs. I don't know if we can spread customs. I don't think personally we can. I don't think that works in terms of the actual collocation. Teaching others about different. So yes, paraphrase, but it has to work. Do you see what I mean? It's got to make sense. Teaching others about different customs, and we don't need to repeat everything. And attitudes. Something like that is absolutely enough. Okay, you don't fall into the trap of paraphrasing absolutely everything without really understanding what you're saying. It's very important that it has to make sense. Okay. However, it may be interfering. Okay. Others believe that this may be unwelcome in some countries. Now you need to give me your opinion. So it's an opinion essay. So I want your opinion in here. And then I want your opinion again in the end. Okay, so for this kind of essay, that's how we suggest you lay it out. And this essay intends to look in this marketing for its beneficial effects, which should be carefully managed. Okay, you don't need to give me that as well. So I would prefer you to say this essay will discuss the key issues of this trend, using examples from India and Syria. Okay, so on the course we go very carefully through the absolutely what we believe is to be the ideal structure for these essays, because coherence is very important. Coherence means that you're answering the question and it's flowing really nicely. Task achievement, which the examiner also looks at, is whether you're answering the question. So firstly, the global marketing. What do you mean by the global marketing? Okay, is a prized possession since it spreads ideas, languages, and culture. So you can't have this because this is the same as in the question, and you've kind of said that already up here. To countries that may otherwise find it difficult to access information. Okay, now global marketing. So tell me what we mean here. Advertising campaigns on Facebook for new products, or the presence of McDonald's in every country, which is advertised on TV. So you need to tell me exactly what you mean. I like this about access information. Yes, for poor countries, exposure to foreign cultures can be an inspiration to develop into well-developed. You can't develop into well-developed, just too much develop. Developed into better educated, and well rounded, maybe, which is the same as well developed, pretty much. Okay, so that would go, just because you don't want to repeat too much. For instance, a child in India who regularly sees English language advertisements may acquire some language proficiency. Uh, yeah, we need to get this idea about learn and understand other ways of um, seeing the world. And so let's give three things. They may acquire this, they may learn, and they may increase. So the modal verb may is still in charge here. That's still your primary verb. So you want the infinitive here. May increase their developing skill for passing higher education as an adult. Good. The global idea promotes the unity and allows people to see how the rest of the world. The global idea promotes unity. I don't know what you mean by the global idea. Not sure what you mean by that, but promotes unity. I get that, and allows people to see how the rest of the world, is positioned, or the viewpoint of the rest of the world. Thanks to advertisements, not necessarily at the expense of, but maybe thanks to advertisements. So, it's very important when you're doing academic writing. Okay, sorry about that. So in academic writing, it's very important to have a clear paragraph. So the paragraph needs to flow very well. This is the coherence that I talked about. And if you're not used to writing this kind of essay, you may find it quite difficult. It is quite a specific skill for IELTS. Your paragraphs need to be kind of direct, coherent, and very clear. So there's a few things in there I'm not quite sure about. On the course, we have little modules. So there's a video modules, 18 of them, that take you through different aspects of this. They may be things that your books cover, but equally you may find it's quite nice for you to have somebody teaching you about how to do this. And then we practice these suggestions that we're making when we do these essay corrections. So you would have a total of 5 task 2 corrections, 8 task 2 corrections and 5 task 1. Academic or general, depending on what you're choosing. So by the end of the course, you are pretty confident in writing your essay, which is what we are aiming for. So that's your first body paragraph, although. Now watch out with firstly and although, because they don't match. So you should have however, and then don't have firstly. These have to match up. However, although, these advertisements should respect the other country's local values, cultures, and people. Absolutely. And join this together, there is ample evidence. So evidence is plural. There is ample evidence in history that people who ignore this, so you need a relative clause there, people who ignore, present tense, this, could cause serious issues, which may, so grammar here, which may lead to genocides or wars. Okay. For instance, a civil war in Syria where the propaganda led by religious motivators promises supremacy and simulation. Okay, yes, now be very careful here, because when we talk about global marketing, let's get back to the question. Global marketing, okay, we are talking about Apple computers, okay, or Nike shoes, or McDonald's, or something like that. These American companies and other nationalities who come into a country and buy the whole idea of a McDonald's restaurant or a Starbucks cafe. They're selling their culture. It's selling an American way of life. So the damage, so the negative side, is that your local coffee shop or your favorite restaurant may stop trading because there's so many McDonald's in here. So I would be very, very careful about this paragraph, because for me, yes, adverts must respect that, but the rest of this does not connect to that sentence. That's a good opening sentence, but talk to me about the damage it does, because my local coffee shop, which I loved, is now closed down. So the power of this advertising, these big international companies, can have a negative effect on the local economy and local businesses. I would strongly advise against ever talking about religion or politics in this kind of essay. It is a danger zone. To conclude, international marketing should be promoted through the world for improving economic knowledge as well as, knowledge and business. I mean, it's about business, really. Yeah, as well as promoting different cultures, and lifestyles, knowledge of lifestyles, maybe. worldwide. Such promotion is out. So opinion here, I believe. This is the structure of the essay, which we also talk about a lot. Each essay has a different kind of structure, which you need to know about. I believe such promotion of international marketing should be often possible without interrupting a nation's own local culture and trade by making awareness broadcasting in receiving nation. Not sure what you mean by that. Okay, a little bit unsure about that final sentence. Okay, so you've worked really hard on this. I see it took an hour, I think you said. Where did I find that? Okay, yeah, an hour. Okay, so you've worked really hard on this. I can see you've really thought about it. You've got some very nice language in there, which is looking good. So what we need to work on now is the coherence, so how the essay flows, the task achievement to make sure you're answering exactly the right question. On grammar, we need to get some more complex sentences in there to show the examiner your knowledge of grammar and that you can use difficult structures quite flexibly, okay? And then we can develop the ideas in the essay by adding vocabulary. So on the course, we cover all these issues, which is really important. We do a very clear 12-sentence guide to writing these essays. I'm very happy to offer you a discount on the course today and 2 free essay corrections. So in total, you would have 10 corrections. Thanks very much.